Hello, everybody. You should be in math. It is April 27th. This is what your page should look like right here. It's Monday, so it's day one. For your opening, you should be reading your learning target. For your mini lesson, we will go over some vocabulary words. For our work period, you should be watching this video. And for your closing, you will answer one daily question. So let's get started. Our learning target says, I can recognize opposite signs of numbers as indicating locations on opposite sides of 0 on a number line. This is exactly what we've been doing for the past couple weeks, except we're using fractions and decimals this week. So let's read our vocabulary words. You'll scroll down, and these are your words in yellow. So any number that can be written as a fraction is called a rational number. Every rational number can be written as either a terminating decimal or repeating decimal. What does this mean? Well, a repeating decimal looks something like this. When you see numbers like this 3 keeps repeating, that's a repeating decimal, okay? That means one number is repeating and repeating and repeating. Well, what do we do with a number that keeps repeating? Do we really want to write all these 3's down? No. We want to use what's called a bar notation. And basically, we just put a little bar over the number that repeats itself. So let's try that for our work period. You should be watching this video, okay? So I'm going to pull up the slides. You will have them on your page. This is what your slide should look like right now. Basically, it says change this fraction into a decimal. So you've got 5 over 12. Well, what does 5 over 12 really mean? It means 5 divided by 12, okay? So 5 divided by 12 is what this right here is trying to tell you. So how do we find 5 divided by 12? Well, we can simply use our calculators. I have put some steps right here. So let's look at them. The first step is to write the number 5 down in your calculator. Then you're going to click divided by, and then you're going to write 12. So you're writing 5 divided by 12 in your calculator, and then you click the equal sign, and you should get this long number. Okay? So let's try it in our calculators just to make sure that we get it. 5 divided by 12 equals 0.4166666666 and 7. So that should be the number that you got. Now, you ask yourself, which number repeats? Well, if we're looking at the number that repeats itself, it looks like there's a whole lot of 6's. So now we know that 6 is the repeating number, okay? So if we're looking, and let's click right here, if we're looking at the number that repeats itself over and over and over again, we've got 6, and we found that 6 repeats itself. So let's put 6, let's do this in the color red so we can see it really well. So we know that the number 6 repeats itself over and over and over again, right? Well, if we know that, then we know that that's where the bar notation goes, okay? This bar, this white bar right here, and I'll make it red, it indicates that there's a lot of 6's behind it, but we didn't feel like writing that many 6's down, right? So the number is just going to be 0.416 with a bar on top. Make sure the bar goes on top, okay? Let's try another one. Let's try this one together. You have 7 over 9. So we discussed earlier that 7 over 9 really means 7, and let's make this big so we can all see it. It means 7, and then let's insert the dividing sign because we are going to be using division here. So 7 divided by 9. And we talked about this just a few moments ago. If you see 7 over 9, that really means 7 divided by 9, okay? So if you got 7 divided by 9, we just use these calculator steps that we used before to solve. So let's do in our calculator. 7 divided by 9 equals 0.77777778. So let's write that down here. 0.777777777778. Okay? Now, if we're going to be writing this as an answer, do we really want all those sevens? No, because it's just repeating itself, right? But which number is repeating? It seems like the number 7 is constantly repeating itself. So, how are we going to write that? Well, we're going to write it like this. 0.7, and I'll make it big for you guys. 0.7, and then we're simply going to add our line, our bar notation over it. 0.7, that'd be your answer, okay? So if you're turning 7 over 9 into a decimal point, you would simply divide 7 divided by 9, and then you would turn it into a bar notation. You would just do 0 point and then find the number that repeats itself, 7, and make sure the bar's on top. And that's how you'll be getting your answer today. So you guys next are going to go into your quizzes and you're going to click April 27th, repeating decimals. And what you guys are going to do is take this quiz, and it's the same thing. I'm just going to ask you to put a fraction into a decimal, but you have to make sure you pick the right answer. It needs to have the bar notation on top if it's repeating, okay? Thank you guys.